Joining us now, the executive director of Swing Left, Yasmin Radjy. Yasmin, it's good to see you again. Look, your fundraising has always been an integral part of helping people get elected on the Democratic side. One aspect of it is how can you volunteer? Where is there a disputed election near you? The other is there money that you can give us? Have you seen any change?
Absolutely. First off, thank you so much for having me on. Our community of about 1 million grassroots volunteers and donors, since the debate, we're already engaging at levels that were usually what we see in September, October. And basically the past 24 hours kicked those high levels of engagement into even higher gear. I think the big shift has been that anxiety was the main emotion that was driving a lot of contributions up and down ballot until yesterday. And now it's excitement that's the driving force, and that's excitement about the top of the ticket. It's also excitement about the possibility of defeating Donald Trump and MAGA extremism down ballot. So we really see, the past 24 hours have been a sea change moment in an election cycle full of sea changes. And like you rightly framed up front, the biggest place where we're seeing that is in online fundraising. So we quickly moved to set up a presidential nominee fund yesterday, meaning every dollar will go to whoever becomes the presidential nominee. And in less than 24 hours, we've raised over $250,000 in small dollar contributions from over 1,700 unique donors, making it our best 24-hour grassroots fundraising period all year. The only moment where we've seen that level of engagement was in the 24 hours after Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away. And this is all coming after our biggest volunteer sign-up week of the year. So I think where our heads are in this moment is that there are exceptional levels of excitement to set up the Democratic nominee for success. And all of that is really pointing at the real sort of pragmatic focus among Democratic grassroots volunteers and donors, who are the same folks who delivered victories in 2018 and 2020 and 2022 and again last year. And we really see our role together with our 1 million members as being the one-stop shop for anybody who's looking to channel their time or their dollars to having the biggest impact to defeat Donald Trump and set up that Democratic nominee for success, and also to defeat MAGA extremism down ballot so that our nominee has a governing majority.
Chris, I was talking to one of those big donors who was despondent over Joe Biden staying in the race, felt like it was just going to be a losing proposition. And when this changeover happened, they told me that the blue wave is coming. And Yasmin, what you're seeing, I guess, is that blue wave. How do you use that money? What does it look like on the ground?
I think first and foremost, just to talk about the mood a little bit, I think something that's really clear and has been clear is our members know that President Biden was one of the most effective presidents in modern history. They see this decision, as you mentioned, it sounds like you heard from that donor, as an example of the kind of patriotism that we will never see from Donald Trump. And they see this moment, whether they're investing dollars or hours, as a moment to build upon the legacy of President Biden. I think a lot of folks in these moments of unprecedented event after unprecedented event, multiple times a week, what they have turned to us to is to say, sometimes they feel really paralyzed. They feel unsure about how to channel whatever emotion, whether it's enthusiasm or anxiety or some combination. They just don't know where to start. And so what we're hearing is that folks really want to make sure that in a moment of a lot of unprecedented news, every dollar they give and every hour that they invest goes to the nominee. A month ago, we all seemed pretty sure that that nominee would be President Joe Biden. Today, all signs are pointing that it is very likely that it will be Kamala Harris. And there's certainly a lot of enthusiasm from our folks, both about her as a candidate, but also about the sort of level of unity that we've been seeing in the past 24 hours around her candidacy. But in a moment, a sort of sea change moment, we're really seeing that folks care first and foremost about there not being any doubt that their time and their money is helping the nominee. And so anyone who's tuning in who is feeling that same sort of momentary paralysis, I hope they'll go to swingleft.org. And at the top of the page, they'll find how they can support our Democratic nominee. And those funds will be released as soon as that person accepts the nomination.
Yasmin Radjy, thank you so much. Thanks for being with us.